My latest little project. First time I ever laid any bricks, so don't be too hard on me. This is going to be a stand for the outside unit of a mini split. And when I thought I was going to have to dig down 32 inches, this is West Virginia, that's where the frost line is, but then when I scraped back the dirt, there's a big pad of cement already here, so the problem solved. It was actually, there was a basement window there, and they filled that in with cement, and then there was like an oval or half round window well there, big one I guess, because it sticks all the way out to here. They filled that with cement, so it's got a heck of a slab of cement there. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of my cinder blocks that I don't need in there to take up some space, and then fill that one with concrete. And I have a couple of stainless steel mounting brackets that I'll kind of embed in the concrete here at the top, and that'll be that. Now this is the outside unit that's going to go on that masonry stanchion I made outside. It's a Pioneer 23.5 SEER, 18,000 BTU, so I think that's a ton and a half. And it's it'll be basically free, you know, with the tax break I'll get on it. So over here is the stainless steel brackets, and I got them spaced, and got this wood in there to hold them in place. And then this is I set the condenser down on here, and then drew out the feet and cut holes so I can get the thing square, you know, so I can make sure it's square. And that'll I'll put some bolts sticking down, you know, and then pour the cement and come up over it about an inch or so, and that'll be my mount. That's where the inside unit, the evaporator coil, is going to go. And I made a hole there. The house is kind of interesting construction. It's a 72-year-old house. You see it's like 3/8 sheetrock and then cement and a thin layer of plaster. The walls are 3/4 of an inch thick, and I'm glad to see that it's got decent insulation in the walls too. I thought it had, because it holds the heat very well. And so here is the here's the unit that's going to go there. What I have to do is I ordered a masonry 2.5 inch hole saw, and it's downstairs. I have it, so now I have to try to get a hole through that brick. I got this cheap masonry hole saw. I'm going to try to make it halfway through the brick with that. And then I have a 1/4 inch long masonry drill bit. I'll finish that pilot hole all the way through the brick, and then go outside and drill the other half from outside. Hopefully my plan is going to work. We'll see. So I'm into the brick there. It looks like I'm just above a mortar joint, but this thing's not really cutting the brick. So I'm going to poke through that mortar joint with this hole saw, and with this masonry drill. And I might end up using my 4-inch grinder with a masonry blade on it and cut a square hole, and just pack it with mortar. So Yeah, let's see how that goes. So I was able to poke a hole all the way through with this 1/4 inch masonry bit. And now I'll go outside and see where I'm at. And I have to get my step ladder and extension cord and stuff. That hole saw barely scratched that brick. Maybe I never tried to drill brick with a hole saw before, but let's see where. Okay, yeah, right there is the hole. I can't even point to it, but I see the hole. Let's see. Yeah, right there in the center. Oh, right there. So that's what This is a crazy brick job because the heads don't line up, you know? Look at that crazy mess. It looks like this portion of it was added. Like the mortar doesn't match either, so. And this chimney was added later too, so these old houses, you never know. But there's my box that I'm going to set the condenser on. I finished the bricks yesterday, so now today I'll put some old cinder blocks in there and fill it up with cement with ready mix, and then cap it a little bit, bring it up a little bit above the brick, and mount my 2 stainless steel mounts so I can put my thing on there, my condenser. So let me get busy. I tried to use the hole saw, but I went at it for quite a while and it just barely scratched it. So what I'm doing now is drilling a series of holes around there. Let my bit cool off once in a while because I want it to last for the job. And then I think when I get the holes drilled all the way around, I'll go at it with the hole saw again, and maybe it can cut with. All it has to do is take out those partitions, you know. Maybe that's my plan anyway. See how it works. I made it through there with all those holes, but just barely. The bit was giving out on me, and the last couple took a while. It was easier to drill if you hit those holes, you know, but some of them may have to go through solid brick. So let me chalk up the hole saw and see if that doesn't work, then I'll be in there with a hammer and chisel, I guess, or I don't know any other way. Pretty slow going, but I'm almost halfway through. That seems to be holding up fairly well. The centerpiece there just broke off, jammed a cutter. Good thing I was holding on. gave my arm a good twist. That wouldn't have fell far. You see where some of the holes I drilled around there, some of them were easy and some of them were hard. Well, some of them hit those holes and some of them didn't. So now this thing is into those holes and it's cutting a little better. But I think I'm going to let the drill motor and the cutter cool off, go have a cup of coffee or something, and come back and try to finish it. I don't want to drill from the inside because I see the thing making a lot of sparks. I don't want to set the house on fire inside the wall, but make a mess anyhow. So I just continue all the way from here. So I'm a little bit past the second hole. Hope you can hear me with my respirator on. So as you can see where the second hole is. It's been a while. I'm letting the drill and the cutter cool off a little, and then go for the grand finale here. Oh, there she is. Whew, the morning's work. I have a sore arm, I think. The drill made it. Still works fine. I see the grease was coming out of the Good transmission area there. Got pretty hot, I think. Yeah, pretty hot. It's a cheap drill I bought on Amazon called a hammerhead, hammer drill. And I'm surprised it didn't burn up during that. I got the right angle on her, I think, you know, just she slooped down a little bit. So that's one of the hardest parts of the job right now. So now I'll get all this stuff out of the way and go eat lunch and start filling this thing with concrete. Here's what I got going on now. I got these are the 2 brackets that the condenser's going to set on. My hole I'm mighty proud of. It took me all morning to drill. I got these pieces of wood on here just to hold it in position. I put these guys on there, just stuff I had laying around that I'm going to embed down into the cement. And that, so I'm kind of thinking now, what should I do first? I could go around the edge with mortar about 1 inch, you know, get that looking nice, and then pour the center. With Saccrete, you know, cement mix, concrete mix. Or I could just fill it with concrete mix up to the top here. Probably need to make a form, you know. Just up about 1 inch, you know, just so when I pour it, I can just maybe that's what I'll do. I'll make a form. I need to measure something. Since this is my first time laying bricks, by the time I got up to the 5th course, I'm a little bit wider in the back than I am in the front, so it's okay. A lot to learn in brick mason. You can't, it's not just something you just go buy a bag of mortar and find some bricks and start doing it, you know. You need to know something about it, I think. Okay, let me, I can start pouring some cement, I knew that. And then I can make the form later. I'll put some of my, here's a cinder block that's full of cement that's going to take it, it's going to save me a bag or 2 of Saccrete. I'm going to mix up a couple bags and I'll get it up near the top and then let it set overnight and I'll think about it. I'm at the cement pouring stage. I just mixed 2 80-pound sacks in there. Since I live up on a bank, like, you know, 7-foot bank, I mix the cement down here and just carry it back there in a bucket. So I'll probably mix 1 more sack today. I'll show you one. And I'm not going to fill it all the way up today, but I will fill it most of the way up. You see what I got so far. Yeah, I need 1 more sack probably to get it where I need it. I want to get those things embedded a little bit, and then I'll finish it off tomorrow. Oh, there it is. Got it 3 sacks of 3 80-pound sacks and a couple big cinder blocks in that mix. And I got my eye bolts down in the mix pretty good. I'll finish it tomorrow. That's all I'm going to do today. I feel like I worked a lot today, but here's the tail of the tape. Is let's see, she goes that way. She goes in the back. And here you got just enough room to keep it off those two washers. And she goes there. Come down to this side. And whoops, she goes there also. I had to get it perfect, I had to just stick a couple of those shims under this side. This side was a quarter inch low, or maybe not that much. But here's the other thing I have to do is get that at the very end of the hole. This one at the very end of the hole so that it's in the same place. And now I can see that this one's centered and this one's centered. So it's square and it's level. And I am done for the day. It's a new day, so I'm starting by, I slid that sleeve in there and then I put some sealer stuff I had on hand. This is where when a 1/4 inch drill, the long one, came all the way through the wall. I put a lot of pressure on it. When it busted through the back of the brick, it went all the way. About the bracket, I chose this position because of the stud. I wanted that center screw to be into the wood. Now all these, there's 6 other, 3 on each side, that take those nylon or the plastic anchors, came with the bracket. And they work very well in this because this is 3/4 inch thick. It's the first half is cement, and then there's sheetrock in the back. So they really work well in this type of wall. And but I wonder what these things are for. I don't know. They're just kind of slid in there. I measured where they come in the air handler, and it doesn't really seem to line up with anything. I mean, we have these things here, but they don't. And that's styrofoam anyhow. Last evening I bent my pipes out straight, and also I have to put the drain hose on there somehow, and I slid the wires through. They got a little grommet area there and then they come, you have to open this lid and they come out, and they're conveniently numbered. That's got something new. This will be the 9th one I've installed, mini split, and all the others, all different brands. I just take a photo of the wires and put them on the same screws on the condenser, you know. Yeah, cement set up. This boy is solid, so I just can take out the now. Now, my next job is to go round up some wood and make a form. You see, I want to come probably about an inch up, maybe a little more. Just give me room to get underneath here and to get a bolt and nut. There's some bolts came with this It's his brackets, but I might go get a little different ones. I want some nylock nuts. And also, rubber came with the condenser, and rubber uh, came came with these brackets. So I can put it on both sides, you know, that's the right way to do it. Because if you just put it on one side, then you're still metal to metal with the bolt. So yeah, walk over to the hardware store, get some more washers, maybe get some bolts, some stainless steel bolts, but that won't be now, that'll be a little later, because right now I'm going to finish the cement. There's the form. I'm around 2 inches above the brick. I got it leveled and hopefully secured enough. It's not going to bow. When I start pouring, I got a wheelbarrow of cement mixed. So let the pouring commence. There she is, took about a sack and a half. I wait about an hour and so and take that center brace out and float it a little bit, let it stiffen up. A little bit thin right now, but yeah, kind of pleased with it. I'll let you know when I take the forms off. Today what I'm going to do is the wiring for the power for the condenser for the unit. And I have the disconnect here. It's an unfused disconnect. I have the circuit breaker, 20 amp double pole. I have a 12 gauge wire. I got direct burial for 2 reasons. It's going to be coming out maybe underground or near the ground. It'll be in conduit, but and also it was cheaper, you know. I got 50 feet. Now, what I got here is a wire already, a 10 gauge wire. There was a 30 amp circuit. When I bought the house, I was just coiled up in this box, and I don't know what it went to. But it's over here in my panel box. It's this one, I believe. It's a 30 amp breaker, but I'm going to since the requirements for this is maximum 20 amp breaker, that's what I'm going to swap that out for a 20 amp breaker. And I can just put it in a junction box here and nut it to this 12 gauge wire. And that wire, I probably should get some staples, but it should go all the way to here. I'll have to go through the wall. Instead of brick, it'll be hopefully just a 12-inch cinder block. This is the basement window that you can see outside. It's been cemented in from the outside. It just has a plywood in it from in here. So I'll try to figure out exactly where to go with it. And let me show you what I got going on outside. Turn off the lights. I took the form off already. So that's my, that's where I will mount my condenser, bolt my condenser. And like I said, well, let's see how far I have to go down because the cinder block and it's brick. I got my wiring kind of roughed in. This is my 20 amp breaker. I just swapped it, took out the 30 amp and put in the 20 amp. So it's 16 inches through that wall. So there's my hole. Come out just where I wanted it. But this guy wouldn't make it all the way through the wall. Even if I chalked it up in the drill at the very end, you know, it still lacked about probably a ½ inch or an inch. What I did was I just found this old piece of rod and I chalked that up in the drill just for the heck of it, and it made it the rest of the way through. So I finished drilling that because that was cinder block I was drilling in, you know, and that drill's a lot easier than that brick. Finally figured out where this USB dongle goes. Take the lid off. And you gotta open this front cover. And right here, if you look at the words, I don't know if you can see them, it says push to unlock or something like that. Well, I've already done it. There's this little place right here. You take like a ballpoint pen or something and push it in and it slides off. And then there's it can come all the way out if you wanted to. And then the dude plugs in there and then just put your cover back on. And then they give you a little card with a barcode type of a thing that you can, if you got an Android or iPhone, you click on it and it'll take you to where to download the program. Okay. This is what I come up with to extend that tube through the wall. Like I said, Pioneer only gives you one for like a wall with siding or something. That would, if it's got brick, that adds another 6 inches or so. So that's how short it is. But I found what I come up with was a piece of coil stock, the stuff that they make like fascia and stuff out of. Got a bunch of that. And I just shaped it around a bug spray can and slipped it in there. So I'm going to go in like behind or under the plastic tube, and I can slip it the rest of the way in and then put some caulk and stuff around it, and that should be good. And when the caulk dries, that's what's holding me up from installing the indoor unit. I wanted to get this issue resolved before I did that. And then for my wiring and my disconnect box, the items won't be here till tomorrow to do that. I walked over to Ace Hardware yesterday and got a 10-foot piece of 1/2-inch conduit. So I just need the fittings, and I ordered them from Home Depot. I like Home Depot to have free shipping on everything now. And I get a 10% veterans discount, and there's no annual fee. I'm a Amazon Prime member and a Walmart Plus member. And the ones they're like over $100 or $150 or something a year. But I end up saving money because Home Depot, I'm probably like 100 miles from the nearest Home Depot, and I'm like 30 miles from Lowe's. And so. And this is West Virginia, man. This is these roads. You gotta go that way through those mountains to get to Lewisburg. and it is curvy, man. I mean, so usually you say you're doing like a mile a minute, but here if you go 30 miles, then MapQuest says 60 minutes, you know. So, but I love it. So, yeah, let me finish this, and when the caulking dries, I can stick that indoor unit in. I got the sleeve I made in there. I'm happy with that. Caulked the end and caulked where I slid it around the plastic sleeve that came with the system, and sealed them together. And the sealant's dry now, so I can go ahead and install the inside unit. I just wanted to, you know, in case there's ever like a drip on that line, I didn't want it going down inside the wall. And it's slanted this way pretty good, so it'll run outside if it ever is a drip. Okay. Here it is from the inside. I got it sealed all around. Very good, I think, and this thing's glued in there with sealant. I think I figured out what these things are. I mean, with enough pressure, you could get it out of there. It's clipped in. I think it's just the props, you know, to hold the unit, to prop the unit up for I don't know what, but I mean, once it clips in, it might be a little tricky to get it undone because there's nothing, unless you make a little tool or something. But I put a little mark here where you wouldn't be able to see it unless you look in behind it to show where the clips are in case I want to make a little tool or something. But don't know if I ever have to undo it or not. I got it ready to go in, so I think I'm going to set up and stick her in there. I got this kind of set up. I'm kind of an old dude, you know, and my balance is not what it used to be, and this thing's kind of heavy, so I got some extra chairs in case I need to step off. But we'll see how it goes. I'd probably be wishing I got the 12,000. I was on the fence about that. I think the 12,000 would have been okay. But it gets pretty cold here. Yeah. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to give it a shot. Get that much through there. Okay. Come on in. There you go. It's really a two-man job. Oh shit. My condensator hose is holding me up. there she is. And here it is on the outside. How much is sticking through? That's plenty. You see this? This tubing has a spring around it, so you can bend it without kinking it. That's a nice plus to have. So I wait on my fittings that are arriving today so I can put together the electric. And I set my condenser, and then I do the tubing and wiring and connect the vacuum pump and start pumping it down. So I went outside and I gave it a little tug on the tubing, and it settled into place really nice, but as you can see, this guy is going to show. So before I clip it in, I'm going to prop it up a little bit and I guess I'll try my little Dremel tool here to see if I can cut the bottom off of that. I don't think it'll even clip in with, but that's something to keep in mind if you're going to do one of these Pioneer guys. I guess, I don't know if that trim ring is meant for the inside or outside, but I use it on the inside because my outside's brick. Let me see if I'll just trim it and it'll be all right. Yeah, the Dremel tool made quick work of that. I just sliced that little guy off the bottom. And also what I was going to show was that damage I did when that 1/4-inch masonry bit came all the way through. So I daubed a little patch on that and probably require some touch-up paint at some point. I'm not going to clip it all the way down just yet, because I don't foresee needing to get in behind there, but you never can tell. That'll be like one of the last things. I just snap it on down, and I should put a level on it. I leveled the bracket really well, but I'll see how leveled that is for the condensate draining purposes. UPS came and brought me my whip. I thought everything was going to be in the same truck, but double checked and the other parts are FedEx, so FedEx usually pretty late, and sometimes they don't come at all. The UPS is very dependable here in this part of this neck of the woods. I got my this just made me a little plumb bob to get this pipe lined up with this hole right here where I can where the conduit's going to go, so it'd be halfway straight. Got my box good and level. Got it mounted with 3 screws. Of course, the ground wire is going to go here, and the red and black wire will go to the outside ones, the bare ones. That's the load. The one that's protected by more plastic and harder to touch, that's the line, that's the power coming in, because even with your disconnect pulled out, those are still hot, so they give you a little protection there. And that's when FedEx gets here, I put my box, the conduit box there. It's got the cover plate on it, you know, so you can pull the wire through it. And then I glue that on, and then I got just a threaded adapter, something like this on a glue-on for conduit that to go into the bottom of the box. And this guy, when I get my, you know, I could set my condenser on there now if I wanted to, but condenser actually comes. I'm going to leave it open, so I got a wide open place to finish the conduit. There's no hurry. I got the wiring finished all the way to where it will connect to the condenser. And that's what it should look like. You got your line coming in from and this is your load going to condenser, your grounds, everything's cool. That's and then you can put this guy in there, and that's good. And then I got something I do is I use this dielectric grease on this guy because it's actually a little tough to push in sometimes, and if you don't get it all the way in, then it might sit there and sizzle, you know. So you got to it takes a little bit of a push to get it in sometimes. So you know what I mean. I just if it goes in like real easy, then you're probably not all the way in, and you don't want that. Okay. The pressure's off, and I'm getting ready to connect the liquid line, and they include this little pack of stuff. It says apply to both sides of the flare, and I always use Nylog blue. And I thought I'd give this stuff a try. They also give you some kind of little gaskets I've never seen before. I'm on the fence about using those. I finally made my decision. None of the other 8 I installed ever had a leak, so I'm not going to change up my method now. Okay. I decided to shorten the tubing by the maximum, so I just cut 6 foot off this one. And they're a little bit staggered at the top, so I'll just make the 1/4 inch one match this and cut it. And so I'm getting ready to do the flare with the elliptical flaring tool. The first flare, they're good. I mean, it looks fine. But I just had too much sticking through, so it's too big. I have to cut it off and try again because the nut won't go down over it. Good to go this time. Slides on there nicely and looks fine. So I'll go with that one. And I'll match up with the 1/4 inch and do it. I managed to wrestle it up on the pedestal there. I got my, this is how I end up getting the extra tubing. I just do like that. I guess that'd be fine, I think. And I wrapped it, you know, while it was out here in the open. But the wrap they give me, it only went to here. And I was attempting to do 10 feet instead of 16 feet, so they only give you half as much wrap. But this part will be under a cover, so, or I could buy some more wrap. I don't care. I think if it's under the cover, it'll be fine. Keep the sun off. The tubing's connected, and I put the rubber feet that came with the system there, and then these are the rubber feet that came with the bracket. I think they'll fit nicely underneath. That'll be so that's what I intend to do, is sandwich it in with the rubber on both sides. Yeah, if I have it, why not? I got the wires connected. I just went ahead and left that wire long, and so I could have those terminals on the end, because those little tiny screws. I just wire tie it up somewhere. It's not too bad. And for the power, you know, it's hard to get a 10 gauge wire under that. I tried to get a 12 gauge whip, but couldn't find one. And for the ground wire, I got it on there. It's okay for now to run it, but I'm gonna get a terminal for that one. And then another time to hook up the vacuum pump, I guess. Here's my setup for pulling a vacuum. I have an Appion fitting here. This is the valve core removal replacer type of deal, but I removed the valve core, and it's in this guy right here. So when I'm all done, I'll use that to replace it without losing any freon or not much. And I have my gauge here, and I put the this one is made specially for mini splits. It's a 5/16 fitting on it, so you don't need the adapter. This one's a 1/4 inch. It's for the regular air conditioners or heat pumps. And this is a CPS gauge. I put this on here so I can, when I pressure it up, I can shut this and protect the gauge. I don't know if the high pressure will hurt it, but I'm not taking any chances. I think I paid like $100 for this. To replace it now, they're like 165. So, you know, I don't want to buy any extra ones. So I'm ready to. Let's see, this valve's open. This valve's open. It's set to my highway units. Tor micron. Okay, let's turn around and see what. This is a vacuum pump I bought online. It's a dual stage. It's 5 CFM, but it's not. I have a Robin Air, a good one, and I left in the Philippines. Too heavy to bring back. So I bought this one for like $100. I think the Robin Air was like 250. We'll see how it does. The Robin Air would bring these things down to about 200 microns. You know, that's very low pressure, because a micron is a millionth of a meter, or a thousandth of a millimeter, and they're using it on the microns of mercury. So just like inches of mercury for a barometer, if you use metric, then it's microns. And atmospheric pressure at sea level is about 760,000. See, now you're on the scale. It has to get so low before it comes on the scale. So if you figure out what part 200 is of 760,000, it's very low pressure. And this is 43,000, 39,000 microns. And it's good to let it run a while. Because the main thing, you want to get moisture. You want to get the moisture in the air, the non-condensables out. The moisture will mix with the lubricant and become acidic and damage your system. In the Philippines, they don't pump them down. They just open the valve and let her go. I mean, that'll work, but it's going to take some life out of your system. But if you get down to these very low pressures, water boils. You know, I mean, water is probably boiling at close to freezing temperature. You know, when it's down that low, like maybe 40 degrees or something. Water is boiling. There's 2,000 microns. Let's see how low she'll take her. I think it's doing pretty good, because this is actually a bigger unit than I've did before. And it's like the 9,000 BTU and the 12,000 BTU. You know, they have smaller coils, so they pump down faster. But this little guy is doing pretty good. It's a Vivor Home. I have a couple of tools, you know, by Vivor, and I think I have a jack or something else. But yeah, it's going right on down. See how low she'll go. I just let her go until she stops, you know. It's slowing down. $590. 500 is the magic number a lot of people shoot for. You know, the lower the better, I guess. I'm going to let it run for a while, and then I'll let you know how it turns out. Thing's been running, not how long, probably 20 minutes or so, but it's down to 240. I'm happy with that. It took a while, but it's down there. Now I'm going to block it in, close the valve, and see where it ends up. If it stays there, we done. Let me turn this off. Yeah, let me, I'll wait 10 or 15 minutes, but if it had any kind of leak at all, it's not going to hold like that. That's good. 280. Put some pressure in her and put the Schrader valve, the valve core back. Yeah, I think we're good on this one. Got my feet all bolted down. They got rubber on both sides, so there's no real metal to metal contact. Okay, so I got the hose off. Here's the valve core. I'll stick it in here and then put this packing gland on it so it won't leak. Now I can open this one. And you heard it pop out because of pressure against it. But just a lot of pressure to push on this thing. So I'm going to need both hands again. But you get the idea. I got to push in there very hard because I'm against the pressure and thread that Schrader valve, that valve core back in there. Okay, I got her in there. And we're going to see if she's going to hold. Yep, that's all that came out. So she's good. So my rig here is, that's the, those are kind of expensive. I don't know what they are now, but when I bought them, they were about $40 some each. You can get a lot cheaper, but and I have bought the cheaper ones, but they didn't last very long. So this is kind of like the industry standard, I think, is these Apion. They're good to go. I think it's good to. Some things here you can scrimp on, but some things you got to buy the right one. So now I'm all done out here for a while. I'm good there. Just got to turn on the breaker, put away my stuff, and go turn on the breaker, and I'm going to go inside and fire it up and see how it does. Yeah, see you then. I got everything turned on, and put some batteries in the remote, and get ready to push the button and see what it does. Okay. It's on, I think it's on cool already. It's got like a snowflake on there. It says 79. That's steady. Sometimes there's a delay on the compressor, you know, or most of the time there is. I'll be able to measure the temperature on another thing I brought back from the Philippines with me, one of the tools I took there and then was able to bring back in my luggage. Is my field piece temperature gauge. So we have our compressor running now. Yeah, you can feel it. It's cold now. $66, $64, $63. She cooling off. 62. 61. Yeah. 60. 59. Yeah, she cooling off nice. 58, 57. 'Kay. I call it good. If you're wondering if what I did out there, since I'm not certified, I don't have a license. If you're wondering, was it legal what I did? You can look at your respective state, and you see this is the West Virginia code, and it's section 21-16-3, license required and exemptions. And it goes on to say that to get your license, you need 2,000 hours of experience, and we're training, working on heating, ventilation, and cooling system. So if you didn't go to school, you could get 2,000 hours, which is 50 weeks of 40-hour weeks. Now you can get down here to the exemptions. D, it says this article does not apply to, and number 1, a person who personally performs work on a heating, ventilation, and cooling system in a single-family dwelling owned by that person or by a member of that person's immediate family. So it's legal. I mean, what I did, it's I own the house. It's a single-family dwelling, and I personally performed the work. So that's it's legal. Hey, thanks for watching.